wanna see me, I don't wanna panic. I'm a sad girl in this big world. It's a mad world. All of my friends know it's heaven. You're a bad thing. I know we're fucked up. I'm just a loser. Shouldn't be with ya. Guess I'm a quitter while you're out there drinking. I'm just a thinking about where I should have been. I've been lonely. Crying, think I'm slowly sinking. Bubbles in my eyes now, maybe I'm just dreaming. Now I'm in the sad club, just trying to get a back up. I'm a sad girl in this big world. It's a mad world. All of my friends know it's heaven. You're a bad thing. Shouldn't be with ya. Guess I'm a quitter while you're out there drinking. I'm just a thinking about where I should have been. I've been lonely. I'm a lonely bitch. Super lonely.
Loathe romancing in itself, yeah, I'd be damned to try. I'm only dancing by myself, so I don't slam my Irish bar. Compostable cups, put a penny, I can't stress this enough. I would hate to mess things up, but my boogie still stays restless as fuck.
I know I'm fucked up, I'm just a loser. Shouldn't be with ya. Guess I'm a quitter while you're out there drinking. I'm just a thinking about where I should have been. I've been lonely. Yeah. I'm a lonely bitch. Super lonely. I've been lonely. I've been lonely by the way. I've been lonely. I had a dream. I got everything I wanted. Not what you think. And if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare to anyone who might care. Thought I could fly, so I stepped off the golden. Nobody cried. Nobody even noticed. I saw them standing right there. Kinda thought they might care. I had a dream. I got everything I wanted. But when I wake up I see you with me. And you say, as long as I'm here, no one can hurt I tried to scream, but my head was underwater. They called me weak, like I'm not just somebody's daughter. It could have been a nightmare, but it felt like they were right there. And it feels like yesterday was a year ago, but I don't wanna let anybody know, 'cause everybody wants something from me now, and I don't wanna let them down. I had a dream, I got everything I wanted, but when I wake up I see you with me. And you say, as long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. Don't wanna lie here, but you can learn to. If I could change the way that you see yourself, you wouldn't wonder why they don't deserve you. If I knew it all, then would I do it again? Would I do it again? If they knew what they said would go straight to my head, what would they say instead? If I knew it all, then would I do it again? Would I do it again? If they knew what they said would go straight to my head, what would they say instead?
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I wanna marry you. Is it the look in your eyes, or is it this dancing juice? Who cares, baby? I think I wanna marry you. Well, I know this little chapel on the boulevard we can go. No one will know. Oh, come on, girl. Who cares if we're trash? Got a pocket full of cash we can blow. Shots of Patrol, and it's on, girl. Don't say no, 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 no. Just say yeah, 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 yeah. And we'll go, 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 go. If you're ready, like I'm ready. 'Cause it's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I wanna marry you. Is it the look in your eyes, or is it this dancing juice? Who cares, baby? I think I wanna marry you. Oh, I'll go get a ring, let the choir bells sing like ooh. So what you wanna do? Let's just run, girl. If we wake up and you wanna break up, that's cool. No, I won't blame you. It was fun, girl. Don't say no, 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 no. Just say yeah, yeah, Is it the look in your eyes, or is it this dancing juice? Who cares, baby? I think I wanna marry you.
Hello, everybody. It's me, your host, Mr. San Andreas, here again with episode 30. You know, our 30th show of the Godwin Monday Talk Show. It's absolutely fantastic to be back here. And it's hard to believe, 30 shows. I didn't think we'd get this. Our next number is 40, and then it goes on to 50, and God knows where I'll be by then. But, it's absolutely amazing. We're still over here on www.mradio.biz. You can check us out on the YouTube channel if you've missed previous shows. You know, we've done a lot. Some of them aren't up on the YouTube, I will admit, but most of them are. And, wow, we've got a lot of news today. We've got a lot of news. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, and some of it is just pure chaotic. But it's all here. I hope you enjoyed the songs we had. I don't really listen to Bruno Mars that much anymore, but I saw that song and I was like, well, let's play it. I mean, like, what's the harm in playing it? I used to be a Bruno Mars fan. You know, he's had some good, decent songs, but never really was too into them. But it is what it is. We've got a hell of a lot of stuff to talk about this week. You know, just a lot of really stuff to cover. And hopefully we'll be able to get through it all. If we aren't, we'll just extend the show like we usually do. The show's been kind of going longer and longer each week. But I guess we'll start off this week like we do any week and talk about what games did I play this week. Before we do, make sure to check out all the Mradio social media. That's Twitter and Instagram on the Mradio, and YouTube and Twitch at Mradio. And if you want, you can check out our Patreon and our merchandise as well, which you'll all find on the website. Really, it's all there. And on Instagram, you'll be able to see all our new posts. So very exciting times. Anyway, what did I play this week? If you've had games that you played this week, feel free to send them in to our social medias or through our Discord, and I'll gladly talk about them. I don't really need an excuse to talk at this point. I just kind of do it for the sake of talking. I mean, it's kind of crazy like that, isn't it? But, we've got a lot of stuff here. I guess the first thing up would be, I want to start off, on a different foot. Usually we'll start off on, GTA 5 and 5M and all that. But this week I managed to finish Battlefield 4. I mean, Battlefield 4, it's something from my childhood. I mean, like 2013 it came out. I played it in 2014-ish. And very good game. I mean, I never really got into much online side of things. I was always very much into the campaign. I'd play it over and over again, see if I could beat scores, see, new ways of getting past the mission. And, no, it did not disappoint. I liked the ending. I chose to sacrifice Irish, because I liked Irish the most, but, it kind of, from a diplomatic sense, it made the most sense. Hannah was needed for her country, and Irish, I mean, this is kind of always what he wanted to do. He wanted to die for his country, so I guess that was that was pretty interesting. I love the story behind it. There was a few gaps in it, but as a writer, I always find that I'm more and more just kind of looking for excuses to critique writing. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. You don't like other people critiquing your writing, but you love critiquing other people's writing. It's really ironic in one sense. I also started Battlefield 3, which I'm meaning to stream soon. I don't know why I didn't like Battlefield 4 and then Battlefield 3. It doesn't make any sense, does it? But I'm just gonna play Battlefield 4, and now I'm gonna go back and descending. From Battlefield 4, it just kind of gets worse onwards. So my ideology was, if I go backwards, then it's gonna improve a little bit more. That's kind of my thing on it. Whether that thinking comes true, I don't know. I mean, I like Battlefield 3. I never completed the campaign on it, so I'm kind of excited for doing that. I got so far, and then I kind of just got bored. I mean, it was simple as that. I kind of just stopped playing it because I got bored. I played Battlefield Bad Company. I believe I played part 2 in it, so I didn't play part 1, so I look forward to playing part 1. But Battlefield Bad Company part 2 and Battlefield 4, two of the Battlefield games that I absolutely just played the crap out when I was young. Then obviously during my PS4 days, I played the Battlefield 1 with my friends. You'd spend hours playing it. And then during my Xbox One days, I played Battlefield 5. And I mean, I have a very strong opinion about Battlefield 5, and it's quite a simple but strong opinion, which is it's not a good game. I just don't like it. I mean, it's Battlefield 1, but with improved maps. And I mean, improved is a very, very out of context word. Different maps. I'm not going to call them worse, but I'm not going to call them better. You know, I just don't really feel like they added on to anything to the game. And there's always like a perfect balance you need to get with games like Battlefield, is you don't want to go too forward where the game loses its identity, you know, because obviously it's part of a franchise, so you don't want to go off creating, you know, a farming simulator if it's based on an FPS franchise. But you also don't want to change too little, so it's always a very difficult kind of balance to find in between games. You change it too much, you're going to lose the audience. You don't change it enough, you're going to lose the audience. I mean, either way, you're going to you're gonna get screwed eventually. And I mean, Battlefield 5, that's what the game did it for me. I mean, Battlefield 1, I was never really a big fan of it because I'm always one of those people who like the campaign more than multiplayer. And I feel like from Battlefield 1, just like the market in general, went very much towards just the finance side of things. And that's where the money is on online, you know. You're not really going to make much money with offline stuff these days. You're going to make what, you know, the game originally sells for, and then not much more. With online, you'll make a lot more. So it's just kind of simple business. So from a business standpoint, I respect the hustle, all right? You got some good hustle going on. Okay, I appreciate it. I like it. On just a general enjoyment side, not so much. You know, I just didn't really click with me. But the reason why I played Battlefield 1 so much is because, you know, with your friends, it was just a general good game to just mess around on. Battlefield 5, though, it was just I just didn't really see it. You know, it wasn't my game. But besides that, going back to the old Battlefields, yeah, Battlefield 3, and I'm hoping to just, you know, keep going from there. I also played F1 2019. I actually played it last night. I mean, good game. Growing up, I never really took an interest in F1 or racing in particular. You know, I acknowledged it, but I feel like a lot of kids when they're growing up, you know, the thing they want to do is want to race cars or be a mechanic. You know, that's kind of everyone's dream job, especially if you're a boy kind of growing up. That's what you're very much pushed towards. You know, there's a huge fascination around cars. And I felt as I grew up, that didn't really, it always kind of stayed at a level. I was like, oh yeah, okay, well that's pretty cool, but you know, I don't care. But with F1 in particular, over the last few years, I've took more of an interest in it, and it's halfway to do with my friends being interested in it, and halfway to do with watching a Netflix series called Drive to Survive. If no one knows what Drive to Survive is, you know, in one sense that doesn't really surprise me, and in another sense I'm kind of like thinking about screaming at you for not knowing such a good documentary. It is quite a good documentary in my opinion. What it does is it follows the life of F1 drivers and F1 teams and the struggles they face, whether that might be financially, on-track results, or kind of, you know, off-track problems with drivers. And it's very much a good look into everything else that isn't kind of showed on TV with F1. Because at the end of the day, F1 is a sport. You know, in football, when the match starts, you don't go down into the tunnels and look what the manager is doing on, you know, the board, who he's scouting, what's the player problems. You look at the match. It's very much the same with F1. You know, you look at the race, but you don't look at anything else really. And I feel like Drive to Survive is just a very, very good in-depth look at looking at the actual racers and teams, which is an extremely interesting thing. You know, I wouldn't say I'm interested in the aerodynamics and the chassis and the durability and the power of the cars, but like just, you know, the mental strength side of things that drivers have to even race. You know, the skill, the talent, the technicalities of it all, you know, how to run an F1 team. That's the kind of stuff that interests me. And I guess ever since watching that, because I believe the first show came out in, was it 2018 or 2019? I think it was 2019 because there's 3 seasons right now. But it came out in like 2019-ish, during the 2019 season. And I just liked it. Instantly, it just clicked at me. I was like, oh yeah, it's a good show. You know, it's got everything you need. It's got drama. It's got good people. You know, you got Chris Horner at Red Bull. You got I can't even remember the Ferrari guy, the technical director of Ferrari. it just slipped my mind. You got Toto Wolff. I mean, you've got some good people in there, and then obviously you got fast racing. You know, you got that kind of tension to do it. So it's overall it's a good show. And I guess I started playing the video game, and I mean it's not that I particularly enjoy F1, but it certainly is satisfactory, kind of, you know, just kind of going around the track as fast as you can, crashing into people or even getting past them. And I mean, yesterday actually on my very last race of the night, we took home P1 in Montreal. So that's position 1, front of the pack. So I was quite chuffed with that, to be honest, because, you know, I'll keep denying that I enjoy it, but really it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I also played Fallout 76 this week. Fallout 76, it's definitely it's a weird game. I think the reason why I never really clicked with Fallout 76 is it tries to tell a story without characters. Sounds like a very absurd kind of quote right there. I mean, for a minute, okay, just for a single minute, let's try and ignore all the problems with Fallout 76. And by God, are the problems hard to ignore. Every corner you face, you're looking at like some kind of glitch or some kind of bug. I mean, I talked about Watch Dogs Legion being taken out of the oven too early. You know, it was a pizza that was taken out of the oven too early. Fallout 76 wasn't even put in the oven. Okay, Todd Howard, he served an uncooked pizza to a bunch of 15-year-olds. I mean, at least with some of the games, you know, they're somewhat cooked, okay? They're somewhat finished to a degree. I mean, even with Cyberpunk 2077, it had its problems, but you could tell it was at least somewhat done, okay? Like, behind all the bugs and glitches, it was genuinely a good game. But, see, behind all the bugs and glitches in Fallout 76, I never liked the game. Like, because when I first heard that Fallout 76 was going to be multiplayer, my instant reaction wasn't like, oh yay, I'm gonna get to go play with all my friends. My first reaction was, oh crap. Like, the thing that has always appealed to me about the Fallout worlds is they're a world full of detail, yet they're a world so lonely. Okay, it's, you know, maybe take it as you will, take it as some inspiring words from an inspiring writer, or take it as absolutely baloney. I don't mind. But particularly with Fallout 4, and I know it's not particularly, you know, a popular Fallout game, but the thing that kind of appealed to me with Fallout 4 was it's such a vast world. There's so much to do with it. There's so many factions, from Minutemen to Raiders to the Brotherhood of Steel, which we see return in the DLC to Fallout 76, and to the Institute, to the Railroad. I mean, there's so much going on, yet you're the only person there. You know, you're the only person controlling you. And obviously it doesn't have the feel of a Rockstar world where if you weren't in it, you know, it'd still be existing. I mean, it's very much kind of a stationary world in the fact that it revolves around you, but it works to a degree with the game. It's a very busy world. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a very big map, and there's a lot of lore. And I think the thing that I always loved about Fallout 4 was that it just had so much going on in it. I mean, just all the lore that was going on from before the bombs dropped to, you know, 50, 100, 200 years after the bombs dropped, to every little location has a huge story around it. You know, you could come across a shed in the middle of the wasteland, you know, absolutely nowhere. It could have 2 ghouls floating around it, and you'll just find like whole chapters of lore on it. And for me, that was just fantastic, because I think you very much get into that headspace when you're playing a game or when you're looking at a show, that there is so much crap that is put into TV shows and video games. With video games, it's more of, you know, crap is acceptable. You know, crap's in every video game these days, but, you know, it's playable crap, so at least you're able to, you know, have some sort of interaction with it. But especially with TV shows and movies, there's a lot of crap in it that, you know, it could just be cut out really, and it wouldn't make a difference. But I feel like with every little piece of lore, it adds to the story. And that's not something you usually see. And everything that was in that world, it added to the story. With Fallout 76, though, there is a hell of a lot of lore, I'll give it that. I mean, you can go up to a terminal, or you can go up to like a location, and you'll find a letter. So there's a hell of a lot of reading in it, because there's no other characters. It's not like in Fallout 4 how there's NPCs So you'd approach an NPC, you'd talk to them, you could interact with them, you could actually hear voices. And obviously, it wouldn't be like the same kind of environment you would have in an office or something, but at least it was people, it felt kind of alive in that sort of aspect. And then with Fallout 76, I come into the world, and I didn't even notice it at first, because I thought, eventually we're going to come across some people, but just you come across nothing but monsters and players, and sometimes they kind of merge, sometimes the monsters are players. I mean, it's kind of crazy in that aspect, because the online community in video games, it's atrocious, really. I guess that's the new word for it. There's a hell of a lot of problems with it. That's, the least way of putting it. And the world just didn't feel alive to me. It just didn't feel alive. The story was quite bland. I mean, you're chasing after the person who was the director of your vault, trying to figure out what they're doing and launching the bombs, and it's just not really an interesting story. And the real killer for me was it just didn't feel like a Fallout world. The thing about a Fallout world, it's full to the brim with details, but not details that you'd find in the terminal. The details you can discover in houses, through people, or just in, small little communities that people have built up. And the world, it just feels dead. It's full of dead people. It's full of things that will make you dead. Eventually you will become dead on the physical and mental side of things. I mean, it's just one of those games. I just didn't click with it. And I'm going to keep playing it because I think, hopefully it'll bring up some good content eventually. But hey, it is what it is. Alright, it is what it is. I also played Forza Horizon 4 this week, a game that I haven't played for a very long time. I mean, I couldn't even tell you the last time I played Forza Horizon 4. It was probably a few months ago, maybe going on a year on the Xbox. I was always a big fan of Forza games. They're one of my favorite racing games. I mean, I don't endeavor myself in much racing games, because as I said, I've not really a huge interest in cars or such. I mean, I get around, okay? We'll just leave it at that. I get around. But besides from that, I don't really have an interest in stuff like that. And but Forza Horizon has always appealed to me because it's very much kind of one of those environments where anybody can get lost in. If no one knows what Forza Horizon is about, it's basically a huge car festival. You can go to these luxurious locations. Forza Horizon 4 is based in kind of Scotland, Wales. I mean, not Scotland, England. And you're kind of just racing around cool cars. And I mean, one of the things that's always stood to Forza games is graphics. I don't know really how, but like Forza Horizon 2 looks just as good as Forza Horizon 4, and Forza Horizon 4 looks just as good as any new game that's coming out these days. I don't know how they do it. I mean, like, personally, I have no idea. It's so strange to me how games can look so similar, yet they're so many years apart. But, I mean, it's a good game. I believe Forza Horizon 3 was based in Australia. I didn't play much of that. I'm trying to remember where Forza Horizon 2 was based. Because I'm thinking it was like a mixture of Italy, France, kind of like that kind of territory in Europe, you know what I'm talking about. And it was, I don't think Spain was in there. No, it wouldn't have been, because the thing that separates France and Spain is like a huge mountain range, and I don't remember going up a huge mountain range in Forza Horizon 4. Or Forza Horizon 2. See, geography, everybody, geography. I guess that's some plus to take in geography. But it was quite a good game. I enjoyed it. I mean, Forza Horizon 2 was one of the first games I got when I got my Xbox. I mean, on 360 and on my Xbox One, ironically. And you can just spend so many hours there just racing. And the best thing about it is it doesn't have to be online. It can be offline, and you're just racing good looking cars and good looking places, and it's just kind of a fun environment. And Forza Horizon 4, I didn't get to play much of it, but for what I did, I enjoyed it. It was decent in that kind of aspect. I played Football Manager 2021 this week as well. I finally moved up from 2020 and managing Ireland now. I don't know why. Whenever I start a new Football Manager game, I always manage the Ireland, the international team. Just so I can get like a feel for things, because I mean, like, the expectations are low, so I can do whatever I want. And then you slowly move into club football, and it's a good game. The thing I saw about Football Manager 2021 was it was a lot more in depth, and the interface of it was a hell of a lot better. In previous Football Manager games, I mean, the huge problem was that it looked like a game from, like, I don't know, it looked like a PC game from, like, 2014. I mean, it was a very simplistic interface, you know. It was standard coding, but with Football Manager 2021, everything just looks very brand new, very shiny. It looks like the kind of thing that you'd be told not to touch in a museum, but not like one of those history museums, one of those more modern art museums, you know. So I mean, that's it really, isn't it? Of course, I played 5M, which is GTA Roleplay, and GTA 5 itself this week. Two very good games. And the last game I played this week, which will segue us into our next section, is what game would I recommend this week? And the game I'd recommend this week is The Outer Worlds. It has been a game that I've been playing since the moment it came out, really. I got it on Xbox, and now I have it on PC. Both free, thank God. Which is The Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds, it was classed as the new Fallout. Fallout, the game franchise, that is, not like natural Fallout. And it never, as soon as it came out, I just saw interest in it just suddenly die. I mean, when it was first being hyped up at all the gaming events, you know, I saw people going crazy over it. It's like, yeah, this is the new Fallout, it's Fallout in space, you know, yay. And then as soon as it came out, you know, it just, the interest in it died. And as soon as it came out, I just loved it, you know. And there was definitely problems with it when it first came out. I mean, I had a few mission glitches for sure, but overall I thought it was a very good game. I mean, it's a game, even on my third playthrough now, I'm still discovering new stuff on it. It's just that kind of game. It's a massive RPG, a role-playing game, so it's kind of one of those games where you make the story. You know, you can decide to go do that side mission and get that new companion, or get that new gun, or you can just decide to do the main story. I'm on my third playthrough right now, which I'm streaming on Twitch. I decided to go do a side mission before, because in the other previous two missions, playthroughs, I just straight away went for the main missions. But this one time I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go do this side mission. Okay, so I do the side mission. I think nothing of it, because usually side missions, you know, that's what they are. They're side missions. They don't really add to the story. But I found out on the third playthrough that you just have to go do the side missions, because half the time they're even more exciting than the main missions. Whether it's just doing a quest for somebody, like they're asking you to go investigate something, or whether it's, you know, retrieving something else, you're always going to find something new. And I remember I done this side mission, I thought nothing of it. I came into this huge laboratory, okay, and there was all these monsters here, and I was like, oh my god, not one of these. But I managed to get through them with my two companions. Was it Felix and Nico? I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Just stopped trying halfway through. And I found all these weapons. I found all these new weapons. I was like, wow, I can get them this early. So it kind of just shows that the game has a very much a mindset of you make your own story. You know, you can decide to go do this. If you decide to do it, you get this and that. But we won't tell you get this and that. You just, you know, you have to find them yourself. Or don't do it and get them later on. And it's very much like that, you know. You can be just a silent kind of brawny killer, or you can be a talkative persuader, and it's really up to you. So it's definitely a game that I'd recommend. It's a game that I've definitely pumped a lot of hours into. I'm on my third playthrough right now. I'll probably do a fourth, because it's one of those games where the main missions always stay the same, but the side missions can always be played differently, you know, and the main missions can be played differently as well. There's always secret endings, and even approaching like a random person on a planet will give you a side quest, and it's just very well thought out in that manner. And plus it's got 2 DLCs, so I mean, there's definitely content to keep you going there for a few hours. I mean, it's worth the money, it's worth the time, it'll give you a smile. That's my ending opinion on it. But anyway, we shall go on to our music break. But before we do, make sure to check out all the Mradio social medias, Instagram and Twitter at The Only Mradio, and YouTube and Twitch at Mradio. This next song up is a music request by someone called Nate. So, here's for you, Nate. It's Get Lucky by Daft Punk.
Like the legend of the phoenix, all ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning. Love. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 The present has no ribbon. Your gift keeps on giving. What is this I'm feeling? If you wanna leave, I'm with it. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get lucky.
We're up all night to get. 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 We're up all night to get lucky. 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 Come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get lucky.
Staring at two different views on your window ledge. Coffee is gone cold, it's like time froze. There you go, wishing, floating down, I wish it would. It's like I'm always causing problems, causing hell. I didn't mean to put you through this, I could tell. We gonna sweep this under the carpet. I hope that I can turn back the time to make it all alright for us. I promise to build a new world for us two, with you in the middle.
That was Middle by DJ Snake and Bipolar Sunshine. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 30 of the Godwin Money Talk Show. If you're just joining us, welcome in today. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out all the Mradio social medias. That's YouTube and Twitch at the Mradio, and Instagram and Twitter at the only Mradio. I mean, I say that so fast now, I'm going to take my breath away. I mean, every time I say it, it's like a competition against myself. Last time I was like, yes, said it faster. Anyway, we're on to the news segment of this week, and by God, we have some news to tell you. Chinese authorities have seized 46 million in video game cheating ring, and wow, that's quite a tongue twister right there. But an organization known as the Chicken Drumstick had allegedly taken in 76 million in revenue for its subscription video game cheat service before law enforcement broke them down this week. The group had charged $10 a month for cheats to games like Overwatch and Call of Duty Mobile, in addition to confiscating 46 million in assets, which included no small number of luxury cars. Police say they destroyed 17 cheats and arrested 10 people in the takedown. Chinese tech titan Tencent, which has a stake in several major gaming companies, collaborated with the authorities in the operation. So I mean, wow, cheaters getting cheated, by Tencent. It's always great to see, I never do I mean harm to anybody, but it is kind of good to see people that are kind of ruining the gaming environment and the gaming market kind of get, a little bit kick up the ass. Everything comes around, boys. Everything comes around. Sims 2, this developer, the person who develops Sims 2, if that wasn't clear, says Simlish, the Sim language, is gibberish. The team was constantly amazed at people who felt they could see patterns where there are none. Now, personally, I've always ignored Simlish because to me it's like, that's what it is to me. I don't understand it at all. I just, for me, it's just a bunch of random words. Not even words, just sounds. I don't know anything about it. And I always suspected it was kind of just gibberish. And I watched a video that came out from Sims 4 saying that there was some sort of the voice actors from Sims, and they said certain things meant certain things, like positive and negative. I never really paid attention to it. I just looked at the video. But it's kind of, it's confirmed that Simlish, it's just gibberish. And people who said they could see patterns, cuckoo, a little bit of crazy. Flight Simulator doesn't have helicopters, but modders have discovered a way to add helicopters anyway. Now, I was very skeptical about this, and it turns out that I was right. I didn't think there was actually a model for helicopters, and what that means is that they may have actually got the physical model for helicopters, but what I mean by model is something that acts as an actual object, an asset. So they have the image of a helicopter, but it doesn't work like a helicopter. It still works like a normal plane. It'll just kind of still ascend and descend slowly. Well, I suppose the descending might be a little bit faster in a plane, I'm not a professional at crashing planes, so I would not know that information. But it looks like a helicopter, but it acts as a plane, so that's quite an interesting sight, to be honest. It's like, what is that? Is that a plane? No. Is it a bird? No. Is it a helicopter? It's like, oh wait, no, it's a plane. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. You can now lose all your scrap and weapons at Rust's new poker tables. We thought Rust couldn't get any more toxic, and now it has poker tables. You're sitting across a table from a 12-year-old Indian bloke who yells at you every time you win a game of poker. Solid update if it was a little bit of a less toxic community. Rust is infamous for its really kind of community, isn't it? But good for them. They got poker in there. I might pop in. I'm a big advocate of poker, I liked it. I spent hours playing it in Red Dead, it's like, just yelling out the names of NPCs, like, damn it, Charles, why'd you have to do me like that? Why'd you have the ace high? It's kind of crazy, to be honest. One of my favorite shows that is coming out this year, The Witcher, has its season 2 wrapped up, and Gerald is delighted. A picture of Henry Cavill, who plays the main character Gerald, was taken, and he was smiling. He was still quite scary, don't get me wrong, but he was smiling, so that's a bonus. But The Witcher 2 Season 2 The Witcher Season 2 was wrapped up this week, and it's fantastic news because I'm like really looking forward to this. I finished Season 1, and I found out when Season 2 is dropping. It's dropping August this year. I hope to God they're going to bring it out sooner, because I don't know how long I can wait. Every time I think of it, I'm like, yes, like bring it to me. Because I played the games, loved the games, didn't read the books, not much of a book reader when it comes to fiction. I used to be, but now, if I'm going to read a book, it's going to be informative. I kind of rely on my imagination and visual storytelling to guide my kind of need for fiction. But, I'm really looking forward to it, so yay. Sounds of excitement can be heard from my room. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator leaves early access and gets multiplayer. Plus, Totally Accurate Battlegrounds goes free to play. Totally Accurate Battlegrounds is different from Battle Simulator, but Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, I played it once on Xbox, jeez. Epic Xbox, very similar words. I never really gelled with the game, if I'm being honest. It was never a game where I was like, oh yeah, it was kind of more of a game where I was like, so how do I do this again? I never really got the hang of it, to be honest. I can see the appeal of it, but it was just never kind of my forte. But if you're into those kind of, strategy simulator kind of games, by all means, it seems like a good game, just not my game. This year's online E3 will be a free-for-all with no paywalls. I mean, that's just fantastic news. I can finally go to E3. I mean, I was going to save it for when I was older, and I could say, like, oh yeah, I went to E3 because I'm a big famous person, but now I can go to, now I can say I went to E3. It was online, but it's still E3, technically, so, On a technicality, I can now have boasting rights saying that I went to the biggest gaming event there is. So, once again, another little celebration, like, yay! Hawaii, I've heard it pronounced so many different ways, the phone brand. I call it Hawaii. I heard some people call it Huawei. I'm so conscious about how I pronounce it now, since I have no idea how to pronounce it. Like, absolutely no idea. I'll say the letters. If it comes out right, it comes out right. It's kind of one of those things, isn't it, where, half of the population says Hawaii, and the other half says Hawaii, or Huawei. It genuinely, the word confused me, but Huawei and Hawaii or Huawei, one of them anyway, they're both the same. They're just pronounced different. They're the same, but I'm pronouncing them different just for, to make sure everybody's happy in this situation. And NZXT are getting in on the monitor game. That's right. The monitor market is getting some new players. I mean, it's kind of crazy, two phone guys, they're kind of getting into the market here. I mean, I'm not going to complain. More monitors, they might be better, they might be worse. They will probably drive down the price of some monitors because they're a new competitor and everyone wants to have the cheapest prices. So I'm down either way. I'm probably not going to purchase a monitor myself until it's proven from them. I already have two. I've always contemplated getting a third, but I never done did it. I mean, I'd be down for getting a third, to be honest. If I ever got my hands on a third, I'm kind of scheming things in my head right now, but maybe in the future. Cyberpunk 2077 expansions are still in development, CD Projekt Red confirms. The studio said yesterday that it is reconsidering Cyberpunk's multiplayer, but planned expansions and DLCs are still moving forward. That is fantastic news, because we were told at the start of the year, it's like, you'll get a DLC, don't worry, it's going to be all Gucci. And that was before all the crap went down. That was before the shit hit the fan. And after the shit hit the fan, it was delayed. And then obviously I was like, classic CD Projekt Red. But it's still in the works partly. I don't know whether it's going to happen. I mean, they've got a huge game to fix. You've got a huge game to fix before you do any DLCs, CD Projekt Red. But honestly, I'm praying for you. I'm honestly praying for you. I don't pray for many things. Okay, I stopped going to church a while ago. It's not that I stopped going. It's just, I just don't appear anymore, so take that as you will. But I'll go back to church and pray for you. So there's my solace vote. Death Stranding and Metal Gear composer leaves Kojima Productions. Now there's possible kind of collaborations in the future, but he has left, and it's kind of sad to see, you know, someone with such talent working on 2 major games like that leave. It is what it is. You gotta hope he's gonna land on his feet, because the gaming market, it's a very competitive market, and you hate to see people get out of jobs. CD Projekt Red won't market new games until much closer to launch. The company plans to start a parallel AAA development next year, but if a new Witcher RPG is in the works, it won't say. I mean, this is definitely something that I see as a positive for the company. One of the things that really drove Cyberpunk to be what is, for lack of a better word, the shithole it is right now, is that it is sort of a decent game beneath all the uncooked toppings on top of the pizza. But it was just hyped up to such an extent over so many years that everyone was like, this is going to be the best game ever. And when it came out and it wasn't the best game ever, people got quite pissy. And I don't know if this is like if this is general knowledge, but I'll put it out there. People quite like their money. Money and people, they go hand in hand. So when people waste $60 on something that they think is going to be the best piece of bread, and then it turns out to just be a normal piece of bread, people are annoyed because they want the best piece of bread. That's what they paid $7 for. So overall, I think Cyberpunk was quite a good game. I think CD Projekt Red done a satisfactory job with it to an extent. But I also think that the marketing strategy was just overkill in the sense that it actually destroyed every aspect of the game. But yeah, that's good. An NFL player accidentally leaks a new contract to his wife's Call of Duty Warzone squad. I mean, why does your wife even have a... Why does your wife even have a... I'm bursting myself up. Why does your wife even have a Call of Duty Warzone squad? And it's just confusing to me. I didn't even know those things were the Kemen squads. I mean, that's what Push to Talk is for, right? Bears offensive guard Rashid Coward leaked his contract. I mean, yeah. I just find that genuinely hilarious. Personally, I hate the Bears. Okay, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm a Packers man. Okay, they play in the same division as us, the NFC North. You know, they're direct rivals of like plus 60 years. I mean, I'm laughing on one side of the stupidity, and on the other side of just the Bears looking like a bunch of a-holes. I don't like the Bears. It's like Manchester United and Manchester City, only it's Chicago. So, you know, nobody likes Chicago. At least some people like, you know, Manchester City, but nobody likes Chicago. If you lived around the 60s, like, Chicago might have been the dream. Okay, but nowadays, you know, come on, who likes Chicago? Come on. And maybe that's just my kind of, you know, sportsman kind of side coming out where I hate anything that isn't my team, but still, I think it's hilarious. Anyway, PAX East is cancelled because of ongoing public health concerns. PAX Online will return in July instead. So another one of the big players in the gaming events this year, PAX East, is cancelled. I mean, I like how they said because of ongoing public health concerns, you know, kind of not wanting to say there's a worldwide pandemic going on. You know, it's like, there's nothing, you know, it's just kind of concerning, you know, that's what they're saying. It's a nice kind of use of language, really. It's, you know, it's not that people are dying or anything, you know, it's just it's an ongoing concern. So, PAX East, class act, they know what they're doing. Once again, another news story from Tencent. Tencent-owned studio behind Call of Duty Mobile reportedly earned $10 billion in 2020. I mean, like, what? Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm in the wrong business, aren't I? You're not in the right business until you're earning $10 billion in a year. I mean, fair well done to you, Tencent. Good job. I've never been a fan of Tencent just because they're a huge corporation that buys up pretty much anything. They're like the Pac-Man. Like the Pac-Man that was in like the Adam Sandler movie, The Pixels, not like the lovable one in video games. Sealed Super Mario Bros. Sells for $660,000, shattering record for the most expensive game ever. So once again, Super Mario Bros. I mean, I don't know how is it worth $660,000. if you want to spend that money, go ahead. I mean, that's all I'm going to say on that, because I ain't going to be spending that money. But, yeah, no, congratulations to the person who could spend 100,000 on some Super Mario Bros, which you can get for like $2 these days. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know what you get out of it. Honestly, maybe it's sentimental value that it was when you were young you played Super Mario Bros. And now you feel the need to spend upwards of $500,000 on it. I don't know if you're going to get that investment back. I mean, if surely stuff like that keeps going up, but at one point when the world goes into absolute chaos because nobody has any money left, are you going to get an upturn for that? I don't know. I just don't see the point in spending upwards of $500,000 on a video game. I mean, if you're investing it into a video game company, yes, that's kind of investment, you know. But just buying it for the sake of satisfactory, and I don't really see the point of it. But anyway, moving on. Talking about investment, the Stonks guy is now in Fortnite. That's right, the worldwide classic meme that everybody loves is now in Fortnite. What else will they take? I do not know. Fortnite are just gobbling up everything here. We'll have nothing left to defend ourselves with. The Last of Us HBO series is set to start filming this July. So it's fully confirmed. The guy who played the Mandalorian is actually playing him, and he's been doing fire stuff this week. Pascal something. Over like the past 2 years, that man has been on absolute fire, just getting all the roles. I mean, like, he's just picking them up. But yeah, I believe a girl from like Game of Thrones or something's in it as well. There's a load of backlash about her getting the role because she looked nothing like Ellie. I think that's a huge thing when like video games are like turned into TV series or movies, or vice versa. Is that like, oh my god, you don't look like the character, and instantly I kind of just, you know, like I'm just gonna laugh it off, because it's, you know, it's very much kind of preached in schools and that kind of healthy environment. It's like, it doesn't matter how you look, you know, it's all about who you are inside that makes you whole. And then you hear little people making death threats. She received death threats for taking the role and not looking like the person. So it's kind of hilarious in that aspect. And there are probably going to be some people that's going to argue with me here, saying, "Oh, you know, you're off your ball. You're off the wall." But it is kind of hilarious that you're judging someone on how they look. Yet our whole culture, you know, what can be perceived as a fake culture at this point, is perceived off looks. I mean, it's kind of crazy in that fact. And it's crazy that like a young actor like her has to go through something like that. My sympathies to her. But hopefully it'll come off to be a success. You know, I've no doubt that it will be. It's very much, I think it's a story that even if it's not done to the best of quality, it will still resonate with a lot of people. You know, it's kind of one of those stories that will do that. But my best of hopes for it. Talking about TV series, the Friends reunion special for HBO Max starts filming next week. Oh god, if you didn't get enough of them in the 90s, they're coming back in the 20s. I don't have anything to say about this. I mean, everyone goes through the Friends phase. You know, everyone goes through like the Friends phase. At first, you know, at one stage in your life, you love the Friends. Okay, I had that stage. It was when I was about like, I think 13, 14 is when I kind of, you know, discovered Friends and just kept watching episode after episode in Comedy Central. And then everyone has that phase where they just, you know, they despise Friends. Some people never grow out at that stage. That's what you call people on a midlife crisis. A little bit of humor there, don't worry. If you like Friends, don't worry, okay? It wasn't me punching you. It was a joke. Personally, at this point, I'm like, Friends is Friends. I mean, you know, I'm not going to particularly get hung up on whether they do the reunion special or not, because it's not going to make a huge difference in my life. I mean, my life's not going to get any harder or easier depending on whether this goes live in HBO Max. But, yeah, no, congratulations. I mean, they're all in their 40s, 50s now? None of them have reached their 60s, surely. I mean, Matt LeBlanc is definitely going there. How are they going to fit that in? I mean, he's like fully grey now. Chandler looks like he's been smoking non-stop for like 30 years. And Monica, I mean, I've saw her, you know, hold up well, I guess. Rachel, I mean, Rachel just looks like Rachel. I'd genuinely be surprised if she was 70 and she did look any older. That's the kind of, I'd be surprised. Well, she's like 50 something now, going on 60. She still looks like she's in her late 20s, 30s. It's crazy. I don't know how. Ross actually held it pretty well. I saw one of his recent movies. I think it was in 2018. And the OJ trials. Maybe that wasn't 2018, maybe it was 2017. But wow, stellar performance by him, definitely. He was playing Rob Kardashian, and just wow. I mean, he was just done such a good job. Who else was there? Phoebe, I have no idea what she looks like. I mean, no idea. Besides from the odd cameo, I haven't really seen much of her. I think that's all the friends in there. Maybe there's more. No, it was Chandler, Joey, Monica, Rachel, Ross, Phoebe. And that was about it, wasn't it? Maybe I'm missing something. Don't think I am. We had Gunther from the coffee shop as well. He wasn't part of the main friend core, though. And that's about it for the last piece of news this week. Also something to do with TV and film and media and all that, is the Uncharted movie was delayed by 1 week. So Tom Holland stars in that. I was very surprised they cast Tom Holland in that role. I mean, first off, I think Tom Holland is way too young for it. I mean, huge respect to Tom Holland. Okay, he's a good actor. He proved that in Spider-Man. He proved it in the Moby Dick movie. He proved it in that other movie he was in that I suddenly can't remember. It was based in the 20s. But I just think, you know, the character of Nathan Drake is a character that is very wisecracking. You know, he's constantly just making jokes, you know, popping off jokes. But the main thing is he's experienced. You know, he's quite an experienced treasure finder, and you can kind of see especially in Uncharted 4, Thieves End, you can see kind of the aging side of him. He's gone on to have a family. Tom Cruise looked like he's straight out of college. I mean, not even straight out of college. One of those college kids who, instead of going to gym, you know, kind of went towards the book side of things. So I was very surprised they cast Tom Holland, because he's a good actor, but he's quite a young actor. So we'll see what he does with the role. I'm excited. Anyway, that's all the news we have for this week. If you have enjoyed the show and you're not already following all the Mradio social medias, then why don't you go over and do that? I mean, it doesn't take much time. Instagram and Twitter at the Only Mradio, and YouTube and Twitch at Mradio. Make sure to check out all our Patreon and merchandise on the website, along with a hell of a lot of other things like our videos and everything else we do. Until next week, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I've been your host, or listening. I've been your host, Mr. San Andreas.